Welcome back to Whitt Acres. Today we're heading down to the vegetable garden to do an update on my giant pumpkin. Each year I try and grow a giant pumpkin, and this year I'm a little bit farther behind than I'd like to be, but we do have a pumpkin set, so we're gonna go see it. Right now the vegetable garden is looking gorgeous. The sunflowers just won't quit, and the gladiolas are just coming on, filling out the pollinator patch beautifully. And I have some onions I need to harvest. And here she is. This is the Dill's Atlantic Giant, the only pumpkin that has the possibility of growing over 1,000 pounds. I'm not looking to get anywhere close to that. I just want a new PR, so I need to get one over 100 pounds. I think I still have the potential to get a pumpkin over 100 pounds before the end of the season, but I did have some problems with this plant this year. I think I overdid it on one of the foliar feedings, and I burnt up some of the leaves. So I did a little bit too hot of a foliar feeding, and I also killed the actual main leader. Where is it? Right over here. This was my main stem, or my main vine, and it fizzled out the very tip, all the young leaves, and it recovered by sending out a bunch of secondaries. So my secondaries are recovering well and putting some nice growth and a lot of leaves on the plant, but it's just not ideal to have your main vine die. I do have a few pumpkins coming on. These ones have just set and been pollinated. Look at all these squash bug eggs everywhere. I have been trying to treat with BT, Bacillus thuringiensis, to try and keep all the bugs from eating my leaves, but it has been raining a good bit here on and off, so every time I treat it, it gets washed off and I have to retreat it. So I have been kind of waiting for longer stretches of dry weather to treat the plant and get the most out of it. But we do have one pumpkin that is set. It doesn't look the best. I don't love the color of it, but this one is the largest pumpkin I have on the plant right now. It is solid. I don't have the vine turned the way I want it, but I did get pollinated by the bees. I really wasn't ready for this one. And actually, I don't think I'm gonna end up keeping that one. I don't like the way the skin looks. It looks like it's gonna rot out before it gets to basketball size. And before it gets to basketball size, any of them can rot out. It's just not guaranteed. Since I have my stump in the back and the main vine was coming straight out this way and it died off right there, this vine here is kind of acting as the main vine coming forward. So I think I'm going to treat the pumpkin that is starting on this vine as my giant pumpkin. So I'm going to start training this vine to take the pumpkin, which means since the pumpkin is on the right side of the vine facing, I want to start turning the vine into that pumpkin so I can curve it back away from it. That's going to give my vine the ability to move and flex as the pumpkin grows, because the pumpkin will grow straight out. It'll start pushing the vine, and if it's rooted into the ground or not bent the right way, it'll snap the vine and stop the pumpkin from growing. So if I let this pumpkin grow the way it is, it would grow from the center out and start covering up the vine. It would end up squishing the vine and not allowing anything to flow through, and eventually killing the pumpkin. What are you doing over there, pup? What are you doing, puppy? Hey, buddy. And I'm just noticing right now as I'm looking at this pumpkin, I'm really taking the time today to try and set it up for the rest of the season. We don't have that much warm weather left. The nights are already starting to cool off, so I'm trying to get this pumpkin set up so it can start producing a big pumpkin and put all the growth or all the energy that it has left into one pumpkin. But looking through this gap right here, I can see a crack in the vine. So right there is a crack in the vine, and I'm gonna have to get some sulfur powder and sprinkle it in there so it keeps anything, any fungi or any bacteria from growing in there, and keeps the bugs out as well. And then I'm gonna look over the whole plant, make sure it doesn't have any other splits that I need to put some sulfur powder on, some antifungal, and make sure everything's in order before I leave it tonight. We just had a really nice storm last night that put over a ½ inch of rain down, so I probably will just water a little bit tonight to top off the node points that I have covered. I want to keep those moist so the roots grow down in. I've been covering my node points with handfuls of soil and compost so that the root on the bottom will go down into the soil, but also there's a root on top of the node points that will come up into the soil that I'm adding and then root down into the soil. It'll make a horseshoe and turn down in. And if you do that to all the node points, you'll double all the root growth. I'm just doing it to a lot of the ones on the main stem, and that'll just help expand the root system even more. For all the little pumpkins that are starting on these other stems, I'm gonna go ahead and pick them off. There's some on these secondaries, like this one here. It's just a fine pumpkin, but I don't want too many pumpkins, because the less pumpkins you have, the more energy goes into that one pumpkin and the bigger it'll get. We don't want to leave these lying around or the bugs will come and try and decompose them, so we'll throw them over there in the compost, which really isn't too far away from my plant anyhow. I'm going to leave one on this secondary just in case the one that I do choose doesn't set, but I'm going to pinch off these other little ones. All these are here are female flowers. The female flower has the little pumpkin at the base, and the male flowers will just look like a flower, like that one. No pumpkin at the base. Female, male. Just in case I have to keep that pumpkin growing, I want the skin to be nice and soft, and to keep it soft you want to keep the sun off of it. So just throw a t-shirt or a rag or a towel, something that can still breathe, allow the skin to still breathe, but keep the sun off of it. Look how crazy this volunteer fennel is. It's just a forest in here. We have some more tomatoes starting to turn red down here. The sunflowers are just a gorgeous backdrop for the garden. We also have some purple echinacea in there, some white Shasta daisy blooming as well. I think the cherry tomatoes are coming in here soon. They're still green. Okay, yep, they're still all green, but they look all nice and healthy. Everything's looking nice and full. I do have some smaller cucumbers that have a little bit longer to go before we actually see some fruit. There are peppers on here that I could pick already. And I got a nice big zucchini off of this plant. Oh, some more bug eggs. Gotta squish those bug eggs. The potatoes are nice and full. Look at this. Hold on, Pop Blythe. I want a good picture here. Picture time. Nice. If you quit itching yourself, you could make a nice picture here, Pop. I'll wait. Did you get it? All right. We got nice little blooms on the potatoes here, so it won't be too long until we can reach down in there and get some baby potatoes. The garden's looking nice right now. I just love to get the pumpkin on the top. So I know it's not too impressive right now, but me and my friends are trying to grow giant pumpkins, and nobody else in this area was making videos till we had something to compare to. So I wanted to put a video out showing my pumpkin in this area, seeing where it is this time of year, and so you'd have something to compare to. If you're growing one in the area, then make sure to comment down below. Let me know where you are in your pumpkin growing season. That's going to be all for this one. If you love nature, make sure to subscribe down below. Hit that like button before you leave, and you can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching.